Good stuff. So, Darren, you were a little bit unhappy with your team performance at Southend. Have you got the response that you wanted or hoped for since then?
Um, yeah, look, I was just really unhappy about the goals. Wasn't unhappy at all about the attitude or anything like that. And I think that's the majority of the performance. I'm just disappointed when these lads, they work so hard. They've probably overachieved really in some of their performances this year and taking such a level that probably they didn't even know they had in them. And when they worked that hard and they worked as hard as they did Tuesday night to concede the goals in which we did, which obviously then gives away points, that's my biggest disappointment. And like I said, the second goal was a disaster of epic proportions in my eyes. And yeah, so but I mean, unfortunately, I've had a family funeral in the northeast, so but I know there'll be a reaction tomorrow. I just know them too well now, and I know they'll come out with all guns blazing.
Yeah, sorry to hear about the family funeral.
Thank you.
Now you're turning your attention to the FA Trophy, isn't it? A trophy that you have won in the past as well. How important is this competition to you this season?
Yeah, big. I think in this moment as well, it's even bigger because, like I said on Tuesday, maybe I would have been tempted in the past to give game time out of the need to get players some minutes and keep them motivated. Well, I think we need to get back to winning ways. I think we need to experience winning again. I think we need to feel that and see what that looks like. Doesn't always, just because you play a different team or a more regular team, doesn't mean it comes any easier. Not a chance at all. But I think we need to give ourselves the best chance of winning the game. There still might be a couple of tweaks and changes. Obviously, know that Wilkinson was hobbled off the other night. Josh Staunton's always a player that I worry about not having available, especially when Wilkinson's out. Mark Little needs probably to experience the game either from the start or off the bench. So there might be a few changes, a couple of changes here and there, but you know, I want to make sure that I don't go into it arrogantly and just assume that anyone can win the game. I think that'd be the wrong way to approach it right now. And especially after coming out of the FA Cup, I think we should do our level best to make the FA Trophy a priority.
Yeah, and is this then a classic example of a banana skin game, if you like, because of the form that you're currently in and where they are in the football pyramid?
Well, yeah, but I think we got to a point where I think every game felt like a bit of a banana skin because we were playing so well and was on great form. So I don't see it like that. I just see it as another contest, another challenge. We're going to have to play very well. I don't think there's a game this year that we've won where we've got away with it, nicked it, robbed someone from it. We've had to play very well for all our wins. And I don't think tomorrow will be any different. And, you know, I think it's important, like I said, it's important for me. It's definitely very important to me that we have a feeling again of a hard-earned win.
Yeah. What do you expect from Needham Market? Because they're down in the Southern League, obviously, so a little bit more difficult to scout, I suppose. So what do you know about them?
No, but I think, you know, I've met the manager briefly on my journey, and he's going to have players of good attitude and commitment and desire. And they're going to come, and whenever a team plays up, like when we played Stevenage or when we played Bournemouth, I always think you can expect 20% extra from that team. So I think it's very hard to judge when you're watching them in their league campaign, because the Oval's going to be a nice setting for anyone outside the Football League. And I think that raises adrenaline. I think that raises pulses. I think that raises people's levels of performance, excitement, attention, focus, all those things. So listen, if I know the manager in the same way when I played against his last team, then this will be highly combative and a huge test. And again, the last thing I want to be is an arrogant so and so and think I can play anyone but anyone, and assume that there's going to be a positive result at the end of it. I don't really want to leave that to chance tomorrow.
No. And does it help in some ways? Can you draw on the experience of playing against Yate Town in the FA Cup, because they're from the similar sort of level?
No, look, every situation's different. Every group of players reacts different to every scenario. I think, you know, we need to take this game quite individually in its own right and its own project almost, and make sure that we've done enough. We've, you know, luckily now with social media and the platforms that are out there, you are able to see pretty much anyone play. I mean, it's quite incredible now. But so, you know, we've done as much as we can in terms of that, and we'll prepare the players. And, you know, what it'll be my job to do tomorrow is to pick the right team, pick the right shape, and be adaptable within those, you know, that framework, and ensure the players go down the tunnel as highly motivated as possible. But like I said, with these players, I've no doubt that they'll come out highly motivated. They've got so much care and or sort of intrinsic motivation for the football club that I've no doubt they'll come out flying.
Yeah, and just finally for me, Darren, away from the game, really, it's more about the loan extension potentially with players in your squad. Is there any news on that, or even for that matter? I know Dan Moss has gone back. Are you going to look to replace him in the squad?
Well, listen. First of all, Dan Moss was exceptional, absolutely exceptional, and it was a little bit of a heartbreaking moment when he told me that he was going to go back to Millwall and then go into the Football League. So, because obviously, you know, the loan was perfect for all parties. The only bit that's missing really is the extension at Yeovil. But in terms of, you know, the financial outlay to have someone like Dan Moss was next to nothing. Millwall, I've got to say, alongside Middlesbrough, the best club I've ever dealt with young players for loans, and their understanding of resources and a lack of. So Scott Fitzgerald at Millwall was, you know, amazing in his conduct and the way he went about, and the best for Dan. And it was Dan's choice. This isn't Millwall's choice. This is Dan's choice to go and try and, you know, put himself into the Football League. We can't begrudge him of that. We can't begrudge young players of being ambitious. You know, that's natural and that's human nature. But he was an outstanding performer for us. You know, always available, the most low maintenance player. I still don't think I've spoke to him. You know, I think I've got to call him today on the way home from Newcastle to say bye. But brilliant guy. And like I said, very sad. In terms of replacing him, one, I think, you know, Mark Little's return is timely. So I think that might be saying, I don't think we can replace him, is the honest answer. I don't think we can. You know, that's an organisation decision, whether there's the resources to go and add to the squad. So that'll be up to the board and the owner. But in terms of Jack Robinson's obviously extended to the end of the season, and I'm pretty 95% sure that Sonny will be with us as well, which will be, you know, like I said, I kind of knew a week ago where this was going, so I said if I could keep 2 out of 3, I'd be delighted. That's because I had the information and I couldn't share it. But to keep Jack's been incredible. Stop-start, I know, but he's, even when he come on the other night, I thought he was brilliant when he come on the other night. Absolutely first class. So I think if we can keep Sonny and Jack, we've done so well, so well. And you know, we have to thank the clubs. We have to thank the clubs because we're nicking these lads, absolutely nicking them. So it fits our model as well at the minute. So it's good all around.
Well, good luck for the weekend, Darren. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Morning, Darren.
Morning.
This might sound like an obvious question, but just how difficult is it as a manager to have to motivate a side? You've lost sort of 3 on the trot, and nobody could say that you've lost them badly.
No.
Maybe the odd bad mistake, but I mean the team's played fairly well over all 3 games. So how difficult is it to maintain that motivation level?
Well, I don't find it difficult with this group. I mean, every manager finds it different with different people and personality. I found it a lot tougher last year. I found it a lot tougher for obvious reasons. But with this group, no, I don't find it. I find there's a lot of ambition and, you know, a lot of expectation that they drive internally. Players like Wilkinson and Staunton, Reedy, they've got unbelievable standards. Dale Gorman, you know. So, and I've been in regular contact with those, you know, cultural architects, I call them. They could kind of shape the dynamic of your environment. And I've been in contact with them this week, and they're all very different in what they say, but very determined, very determined. They've tasted the sweet stuff now. They know what 13-game unbeaten runs look like, which for some of them would have been the first time ever. And now there's an expectation internally that we win, which is great, but also needs to be managed, because if someone would have said to me you'd have been a point off Grimsby come January, with Grimsby spending probably 7 figures more than us a year, I'd have snapped your hand off. So I think they're doing great. I think the 13 game was like almost too. It was almost too perfect, really, at times. But we took the wins when we can, and we have to accept the losses when they come, especially when we deserve them. And like I said, I thought the other night had a point written all over it. It wasn't a great game. I've seen some of the Southend stuff. I think it's nonsense. They weren't great. We weren't great. We conceded, a really bad goal, and I'm sure Kevin will be saying how poor the goal that they conceded was. So, we get a goal disallowed for handball. Our player's not even looking at the ball. He's not even looking at the ball. How can it be handball? He's not even looking at it. So, yeah, so all those things. But we've got to make sure that tomorrow is different.
With the greatest respect to Needham Market, they are obviously a small team. How do you get over the problem of we'll beat them, we're better than them? I mean, there's got to be some element of arrogance about the Oval team, I would have thought, somewhere.
No, I think if they're arrogant, they don't need to play tomorrow. I think they can have the weekend off. And I can address it Monday morning, because I don't think we ever have a right to be arrogant over another group of human beings. What makes me better than Kevin Horlock, and what makes their players better than my players? Nothing on any given day, nothing. So, that's the same with us going to Wrexham away with 2 subs. You just can't afford to be it. We are a small team now in terms of structure and resources in our league, so we know exactly what it's like. So the one thing I know that these people aren't going to, they're not going to be as arrogant. They're not going to be arrogant. They're going to be fully focused, very driven. We've got to obviously pick the right team, and I want to pick a team that meets the needs of everyone. I'm conscious that there are still players, very good players, that haven't had enough minutes because we've been winning, or we've had the FA Cup games, or so on and so forth, that may be even better than the performance levels of what we had if they do play a little bit more. So it's a bit of a contradiction of what I've said previously, but we just got to make sure we're not arrogant. We're not arrogant. We've got to make sure that we go out fully focused and trying to win. Winning's hard enough as it is. It's so hard. So it's important that we try and win.
And I'm remembering Kevin Horlock when he was in his playing days. I mean, if the team plays anything like his style of play, you'll be in for a bit of a battle, I would have thought.
No, I played his youth team when I was Stevenage youth team coach in the FA Youth Cup, and we beat them with the last kick of the game. I think it was 4-3. I think it was something as close as that. And the difference between that academy team and his academy team at the time would have been greater than the difference between his senior team and my senior team. So this is an absolutely splendid footballer. And if his players see the game in the same way that Kevin saw it, then yeah, it's a very, very tough game ahead. But like we've always said, we just need to be focused and motivated, because focused and motivated, happy and fit is an unbelievable combination for a player. And we'll get the best out of them if they can utilise that kind of theory.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, we talked about it before. Yeovil, it was first trophy Yeovil won. I'm sure Skivo's been on to you about it. I mean, he'll be chafing at the bit, I would have thought, and leave at this game.
No, absolutely. Look, it's really important. Like I said, even in the moment, it's really important to us. And the fact that we've come out of the FA Cup recently after what everyone considers a very a very decent run, a good showing from us. We need to try and now stretch ourselves in this competition. So, it's so important in this moment, like you said, 3 games without a win, that we, or 4 games without a win in my eyes. That we find a win, we find a way, however it comes and however the performance leads it to. But knowing from the evidence that I've got so far of this group, it's that, you know, we have to be very, very good to win games.
Just one final point. I saw on the paper this morning that the teams that had to delay their, or sorry, not delay it, but bring forward their kickoff times in the FA Cup were going to get, apparently it was for foreign audiences, and therefore they were going to get an extra 32 grand each team. Does Yeovil fit into that category?
I've no idea. I didn't even know that.
Well, I didn't. I saw it in the paper, but
Yeah,
you know, it surprised me.
I didn't even. I don't even. You know, I think when you look at that FA Cup game for Yeovil, we had 8,000 in the ground, 8,000 and the telly. So, you know, the football club would have done all right out of it. You know, it's not. I mean, there's 4 home games of attendances, isn't it? Right now, sort of, kind of, maybe three games of attendances. So we've added 3 extra home games of attendances, you know, and all the other commercial revenue streams that come in via those types of occasions. So, you know, I think Yeovil would have done well, but I'm sure Scott wouldn't say no to another 30 grand.
No, exactly. Okay, well, anyway, best of luck tomorrow, Darren, and let's hope that everything goes well.
Thank you. Top man.
Drive safely on your way back from Newcastle. That's a hell of a long way to drive.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Morning, Darren. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, Paul. Not bad.
You mentioned on Tuesday that some of the players were showing signs of fatigue, and kind of understandably so. Yeah. Is there a way of reducing that without resting them?
Yeah, look, my thought is, you know, I always want players fit for games. I think that's the biggest transformation you make between being a coach and a manager, is that when you start managing, but your trade is coaching, there's a kind of an underlying purpose that Monday to Friday is the most important thing, and it's absolute nonsense. Saturday is the most important thing. So, you know, we made sure we gave them the extra time that they needed. Southend was a hell of a journey for a Tuesday night. The players got in at 3:30. So we made sure we gave them the extra time. So they'll be fine. I just know them. I just know that this little run would have refocused, resparked their attention, and they'll come out. And there will be natural changes because, like I said, Wilkinson and Moss won't be there. I know Wakefield hasn't trained so far this week. So, you know, there'll be organic changes like there is in any game. Worthington should be fully recovered from his illness, so he should be available, and so on and so forth. So there will naturally be them changes that maybe freshen it up anyway.
And you just mentioned losing Moss and Wilkinson. Does that leave a big hole in the squad for now, or are you able to reshuffle it around?
No, it's a hole. No, you know, it's a hole. There's no getting away from it. But we've had holes before, and we've had to fill them. We've filled them badly and well, all in the same go. Hopefully, the lessons that we learn, or that I learned from the last transitional change, which is largely around Wilkinson, by the way, he kind of sets a trigger in motion of what you can. Sorry, excuse me. Of what I think I can and can't play in the systems, and how it fits or befits the attributes of the players available. So, you know, hopefully the process after Wilkinson was injured against Chesterfield, I think early on in the season, I think I persevered too long with something. When we made the changes, we saw a change about the results. So I think if we try and apply those lessons that we learned last time and work from that basis, that we're actually taking note of things that are happening to us during the course of a season, we should be able to kind of skip to the end and get it right, you know, with a bit of luck. But we just know we have to be better. The fatigue thing is important, and I'm not sure there's a way of getting around it, because until these young people go through the marathon of a season, the course and the distance of a season, they're never going to be season hardened, are they? But Wakefield's never done a season. Sonny's never done a season. Knowles has never done a season. Worthy probably has now. Jordan Barnett's never done a season. Max Hunt's never done a season. I mean, you know, there's a few there that haven't done the season. Grant Smith has probably only done 2 or 3 in his 10. You know, so there's a lot there that need to go through the course. But unfortunately, when you go 13 unbeaten, there's the level of expectation rises to such a level that we can and we should be beaten. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. You know, the peaks and troughs of a marathon football season just don't allow it.
On a more positive note, Reed and Quigley are both back and they've both scored. Is that going to be positive going forward, that they should both be pretty confident?
I mean, Reedy's the most confident human being anyway, whether he's playing or not. If he's not playing, he thinks he should be, and if he's not scoring, he thinks he should have. And you know, there's very little that breaks that guy. But no, Quigley's been fantastic for us all year. Ruben's now finding his feet after 3 or 4 months off, and like I said, because of the magnitude of the games, you know, he should have probably had more minutes by now. But because of the magnitude of the games, we went with, you know, the ones that had that substance in their legs, that time in their legs, and Ruben's probably fell foul for that. But no, they're massive players for us, the pair of them. You know, and when you start pre-season, you look and you got you're only 2 centre forwards, but they are your 2 centre forwards. You know, that was a pretty good feeling. And then when you lose Ruben, and we brought in Addy just before the season, you've then got to start again with all your processes and all your patterns of play. So, yeah, all these things do test you. But I've said this since I joined. It's maths. It's just a problem. You try and find the correct formula to work out the problem, and you provide a solution. So that's what we'll try and do, and we'll keep trying to do it.
And then just finally for me, what's the plan tomorrow with the goalkeepers? Will Max get his chance as planned?
No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. I'll be considering that overnight. Like I said, this isn't participation football. You know, in an ideal world, absolutely we get the people that need game time. But, and I say this is a big but, we haven't won in 4. And my job at Yeovil is to win football matches. So not to give people game time. And if people really want game time, I'm not directing this at Max in any way, because he's a fabulous young man who's got a very bright future. But if people want loads of game time, they need to get in the starting 11. That's the facts of it. So I'll sleep on that one. But no, it's not a gimme. It's definitely not a gimme, and that's the moment we're in, and you have to adapt to that. As a football coach, football manager, you have to adapt to that, and you have to do the right thing for your football club. You have to do the right thing for the dressing room. Sometimes you have to do the right thing for yourself, and you need to make sure that we win football matches. So it'll be one or the other. Is that clear enough?
That's lovely. Thank you, Darren.